The old man who had sworn then took his cane and left the courtroom. You'd think that would be the end of it, right? But no, our Sancho pondered for a moment and then ordered the old man to be brought back. Let's see what Sancho did next. When the old man returned, Sancho said to him, "Old man, give me that cane of yours. I have a use for it." The old man said, "Sure, your excellency, take it." So Sancho took the cane back and handed it to the plaintiff, saying, "May God bless you. Here's your money back." The plaintiff said, "Your excellency returned it? Is this cane worth 10 gold coins?" Sancho replied, "It is. If it's not, then I'm the biggest fool in the world." He then ordered the cane to be split open on the spot, and sure enough, inside the cane were 10 gold coins. Everyone was impressed, saying, "Sancho, how did you know the money was in that cane?" Sancho said, "Because when the defendant swore, he handed over his cane to the other party, claiming he had indeed repaid the money. After swearing, he took the cane back." So Sancho figured there must be 10 gold coins inside. Interesting, isn't it? Sancho is certainly sharper than he lets on. Besides that, Sancho is still Sancho, and everyone teased him, offering him delicious food and then taking it away. Because the governor's dedicated doctor said this was too cold or that was too hot, they wouldn't let him eat anything. Sancho, who loves food, was left hungry and miserable. While performing his duties as governor, judging cases, making laws, and inspecting, the poor man was exhausted and felt being a governor wasn't all it's cracked up to be. Just then, the Duke wrote him another letter, saying enemies were about to attack the island. He urged Sancho to rally the people and prepare for the battle like a brave governor. One night, while Sancho was sleeping, he suddenly heard a commotion, bells ringing, people shouting. He rushed out half-dressed and saw over 20 people in the street, holding torches and swords, loudly calling out to him, "Prepare for battle, your excellency. We don't know how many enemies have come to the island. If you don't show your skills bravely, we're done." With that, they dragged Sancho off to arm him. How did they arm him? They stripped Sancho down to just his shirt, gave him 2 oval-shaped shields, one in front and one behind, fastened to his shirt. There were ready-made gaps in the shields for Sancho to stick his arms out. Then they securely tied the 2 shields with ropes. Sancho looked like he was locked inside a turtle shell, standing stiffly there, unable to bend his legs or take a step. They handed him a long spear, which Sancho used as a cane to keep from falling. Then everyone had Sancho lead the troop, boosting their morale, saying, "Sancho, you're our North Star, our guiding light. With your excellency around, everything will turn bad luck into good." Poor Governor Sancho had no choice but to move forward. As soon as he lifted his leg, he fell with a thud, feeling like he'd shattered into pieces, sandwiched between the 2 shields, like a turtle or half-pickled pig in 2 wooden troughs. Of course, they were just playing a prank, stepping all over Sancho, slashing wildly with swords on his shields, and using his body as a lookout tower, standing on the top of it to command, shouting, "The enemy's fire is the strongest on this side. Everyone come this way. Guard that gap. Close that door. Block those streets with mattresses." Everyone seemed busy, while Sancho curled up praying to God, begging for the island to fall quickly and be done with it. After a while, someone suddenly shouted, "We've won! We've won! Your Excellency, get up and celebrate! Come and distribute the spoils of war." But Sancho had no mind for celebrating. He was tired and scared. The next morning, Sancho decided it was time to head back to his master, Don Quixote, with his beloved gray donkey. So Sancho served as governor for just 10 days. "I've had enough of this governor business," he said. "I wasn't cut out for it. I'm better off tilling the land, not making laws or defending borders. Give me a sickle over a governor's staff any day. As long as I can feed myself, whether it's turnips or partridges, it makes no difference to me." And so he returned to Don Quixote's side, and they resumed their journey. On the road, they encountered a highwayman who led them to the seaside in Barcelona. There, Don Quixote faced a fateful duel that would determine his destiny. how did it come to this? Throughout his life, Don Quixote had 3 proper duels, with a record of 2 losses and 1 victory. But the decisive moment came in Barcelona. Here, Don Quixote encountered a true knight, and they engaged in a duel. It was early in the morning when Don Quixote strolled by the beach and suddenly saw a knight approaching him. Fully armored, his shield bore a shining moon emblem, and he called himself the Knight of the White Moon. He demanded that Don Quixote admit his lady-love Dulcinea was inferior in beauty to the knight's own lady, or face him in combat. Don Quixote could not agree to this demand and willingly accepted their duel, even gaining the local governor's permission and endorsement. Luckily, this time, there were no major mishaps. The Knight of the White Moon charged with his lance held high to avoid fatally striking Don Quixote. The impact was fierce, and both Don Quixote and his skinny horse were no match for such a powerful charge. They were knocked off their feet and fell heavily to the ground. The Knight of the White Moon remained mounted and pointed his lance at Don Quixote, ordering him to return home immediately and stay quietly for a year.